All right, guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about quartiles and percentiles. And I just want to start by reminding you that in the previous video, we were talking about quartiles. Basically, this is our five number summary of the data. So the five numbers that consist of minimum value, quartile 1, quartile 2 or median, quartile 3, and the maximum value. Now, each quartile separates 25% of the data. So from the minimum to quartile is 25%, quartile 1 to quartile 3 is 25, and the same thing, 25 and 25. That's why they're called quartiles, because they're the values that separate the 25%. And of course, from the minimum to quartile is 50%, and from quartile to the max is another 50%. That's why quartile is also called the median value. Okay, now we have a way of actually separating any kind of percentage. So not just the 25, like with the case of quartiles. We could, so here's the definition. It says, in general, the pth percentile is a value that separates the bottom p% of the data from the remaining values in the top of the data. So here's how we write it. P with the subscript 35 means separate this, the value that separates the bottom 35 from the top 75. So, and if this is our normal distribution, then we're gonna, so 50% is right here, right in the middle, in the center of the data. So the center point, it separates 50 from 50. So our median is going to be here. But then notice right here, this point, it separates the bottom 40 from the top 60. This point separates the bottom 30 from the top 70. We need to find P35. So it's going to be between 30 and 40. So right here. And what we do to indicate that data, we're going to basically imagine that we have some kind of a histogram, or so we're going to have bars that cover this area. So basically, this is our 35% of data, and the rest on the right side is 65%. And we call this value right here that separates the bottom 35% as a 35th percentile. Now, how do we find that exact data piece or data point? Like in case of the previous example, we had exact data values like 66, 65, 67, that would separate our percentiles or quartiles. Now with percentiles, we could find those data values as well. And here's the process. Okay, so first we want to arrange our data values from smallest to largest, just like in this case. And then we will find, basically locate our value. The formula allows us to locate the value. Okay, so K is the percentile that we want. So in our case, K was 35, because we were looking for 35th percentile, divided by 100%, multiplied by n. And let's apply this actually to our next data set, which we can see here. Okay, so let's start with arranging the data values from smallest to largest, and I'm gonna do it here. So because I'm gonna apply this formula later to this data set. Okay, so looking for the 35th percentile. So I will start with 60. So we have 60. The next one is 62 and 62. And the next one, it looks like is going to be 65, 60. We have 264 and 165. 64, 64, 65. And then we have 66 and 66, two values. And then we're going to have 67 and 67. 168, 169, 71, and 74. Okay, we arranged our data values. We need to count our the number of data values. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times 2, n is 14. Okay, so going back to our formula, the percentile is 35. So we're going to have 35 divided by 100 times number of data values, 14. Basically, 35 divided by 100 is our percent in decimal form, for those of you who are fluent in algebra. Okay, so just convert your percentile to decimal form, multiply by n. So we have 0.35 times 14. That's our value, 14. So this is 4.9. Okay, so let's read the direction. L, if L is a whole number, the percentile is L plus 1. Well, ours is not. If L is not a whole number, round up. So in other words, this is going to be our L is 5. Okay, L is 5. We round up. But we would have rounded up even if we got 4.1, 4.3, even 4.0. We would get, we would go L plus 1 and go L equals 5. And then you go into your data set and you find that data value, the number 5. So your 35th percentile is the data value number 5. This L tells you the where the data is located. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right here. 64 is the value. So P is the value that separates the bottom 35% from the rest of the value. It separates the bottom 35 from the top 65. Okay, so that's how you find percentiles.